7 highlights from Robert Mueller's Judiciary Committee testimony. Former special counsel Robert Mueller has made few public statements since his May 2017 appointment to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 election and potential coordination with the Trump campaign. Though the results of his work were made public in a 448-page report in April, many on Capitol Hill and around the country were anxious to hear from him directly about the investigation. After some wrangling, debates and delays, on Wednesday Mueller finally appeared to testify before Congress. Through it all, the stoic Mueller kept his cool and kept his vow to stick with what was in the text of his report. But there were still some fireworks and moments of humor during his more than 4-hour appearance. Here are some of the highlights. Mueller, who was at the head of the FBI when terrorist attacks killed thousands of Americans on September 11, 2001, said he considered the Russian efforts to sway the 2016 election was one of the worst threats to U.S. he had witnessed. Over the course of my career, I've seen a number of challenges to our democracy, Mueller said in his opening statement. The Russian government's effort to interfere in our election is among the most serious. As I said on May 29, this deserves the attention of every American. 2. It is not a witch hunt. Robert Mueller defended his investigation when House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff mentioned President Trump calling it a witch hunt. During his afternoon testimony before the House Intelligence Committee, Mueller pushed back against President Donald Trump's charge that the Russia investigation was a witch hunt. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff asked Mueller, when Trump called your investigation a witch hunt, was that false? Mueller replied, I'd like to think so, yes. Schiff asked again, your investigation was not a witch hunt, correct? To which Mueller responded, it is not a witch hunt.
Number of persons that we interviewed in our investigation, it turns out, did lie.
Mike Flynn lied?
He was convicted of lying, yes.
George Papadopoulos was convicted of lying?
True.
Paul Manafort was convicted of lying?
True.
Paul Manafort in fact, went so far as to encourage other people to lie?
That is accurate.
Manafort's deputy, Rick Gates, lied?
That is accurate.
Michael Cohen, the president's lawyer, was indicted for lying?
True.
He lied to stay on message with the president?
Allegedly by him.
And when Donald Trump called your investigation a witch hunt, that was also false, was it not?
I'd like to think so, yes.
Well, your investigation is not a witch hunt, is it?
It is not a witch hunt.
3. Mueller clarifies why he didn't indict Trump. During his morning session before the Judiciary Committee, Representative Ted Lieu, D. California, asked Mueller if the reason he didn't charge Trump with obstruction of justice was because of a 2000 Justice Department Office of Legal Counsel memo that said, a sitting president is constitutionally immune from indictment and criminal prosecution. That is correct, Mueller replied, apparently making an admission he had previously made a point of denying. When he began his testimony before the Intelligence Committee later that afternoon, Mueller said that Lieu's assertion that he didn't charge Trump because of the old opinion was not the correct way to say it. Mueller said that as he stated in the report and at a May 29 news conference, we did not reach a determination as to whether the president committed a crime. 4. A president can be charged after leaving office. Representative Ken Buck asked Robert Mueller if you could charge the president with obstruction after he leaves office. Mueller replied, yes. Mueller told Representative Ken Buck, Arcolo, that a president could be charged with a crime after leaving office. Buck asked Mueller about the practices of his special counsel's office and their decision not to charge Trump with the crime of obstruction of justice. Could you charge the president with a crime after he left office? Buck asked. Mueller responded, yes. Mueller was not making a recommendation for or against the obstruction charges for Trump, but was discussing Justice Department policy.
Okay, but could you charge the president with a crime after he left office?
Yes.
5. Mueller tells Jordan 8 times he can't get into it. Jim Jordan questions Robert Mueller on why he did not investigate Clinton campaign, how the false accusations started against President Trump. USA Today Representative Jim Jordan, R. Ohio, was an outspoken critic of the Russia investigation, and on Wednesday he took the opportunity to demand an answer to how the false accusations started. Mueller declined to give him one. Jordan focused most of his questions on Joseph E. Mifsud, a London-based professor who told Trump campaign advisor with Russian ties George Papadopoulos that the Kremlin had dirt on Hillary Clinton. "I can't get into that," Mueller said when asked if Mifsud lied to his investigators. "Did you interview Mifsud?" Jordan asked. "I can't get into that," Mueller said. Jordan asked if Mifsud was connected to any foreign intelligence agencies. "I can't get into that," Mueller said. "Can't get into that," he repeated. "Lot of things you can't get into," Jordan said.
Pointed out in the report. Why didn't you charge him with the crime?
I can't get into internal deliberations with regard who would or would not be
Charge a lot of you. And I'm curious as to why.
Well, I can't get into it, and it's obvious, I think, that we can't get into charging decisions.
Two?
Can't get into that.
Did you interview Mifsud?
Can't get into that.
Is Mifsud Western intelligence or
Can't get
Russian
into that.
intelligence?
Can't get into that.
A lot of things you can't get into.
6. Mueller struggles to answer Collins. Representative Collins asked Robert Mueller if he testified something different than what his report stated, asking if collusion and conspiracy are the same. USA Today One exchange where Mueller seemed to struggle with a lawmaker's question occurred when Representative Doug Collins, R. Georgia, tried to get him to agree that collusion and conspiracy were synonymous. "You're gonna have to repeat that for me," Mueller told the congressman, who is known for speaking quickly. When Mueller said the terms were not interchangeable, Collins grew irritated, asking, "Are you sitting here today testifying something different than what your report states?" After a lengthy exchange, Mueller conceded to leave it with the report, and Collins said he was hoped they could finally put to bed the collusion and conspiracy questions. 7. Mueller says Trump not exculpated. The president was not exculpated for the acts that he allegedly committed, Mueller said during his testimony. Merriam-Webster quickly chimed in, posting the definition of exculpate on its Twitter account. To be exculpated is to be cleared from alleged fault or guilt, wrote the dictionary's account post, noting that the term had started trending on social media. 10 feet comments. The best thing coming from the Mueller testimony is Chairman Mr. Sheff stating that voters need a paper trail to be able to vote. Best thing he has ever said, get the criminals out of our voting booths, show proof that you have the right to vote, that will include being a citizen and eligible to vote. Good job Mr. Sheff, now if you could. Ridiculous comments, simplest thing in the world, Mr. Mueller. You state in your report you were unable to find that Trump colluded with Russia and you were unable to find that he definitively obstructed justice, yes or no? Yes. So you were unable to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Trump was guilty of either crime, correct? Correct. You have also stated as a bedrock principle that a man is innocent until proven guilty in court of law, correct? Yes, therefore, Trump is innocent, correct? What can he say? He'd rather cut his tongue out than state the obvious, but he looks like an idiot if he doesn't. Joe Miller also gave his idea, law enforcement, including federal, never exonerates, but a person is innocent until proven guilty. Proven guilty. First you need evidence, then charges, then a trial, then a conviction. Cuckoo. 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 Pure desperation. A political stunt, and the ultimate act of desperation, by the cuckoo, Trump-obsessed domes that cannot beat your great president. He's never gonna be impeached, and they would certainly never get a conviction or removal from office. They're living in fantasyland and blowing lies up your butt. Completely 100% certifiably cuckoo. What they are doing, besides looking stupid and asking the same DFQs 50,000 times, is they are guaranteeing Trump will be re-elected. So thank a Dem. I certainly will. Resist. Laugh out loud.